And the beef rolls on, Ross. We ain't got enough of this yet, man. The media ain't got enough. LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith. LeBron went full scorched earth recently, my guy. Just full. He went to Pat McAfee and he went off. Did you watch the interview? You catch the Pat McAfee interview?
Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of their show, and I just happened to one day see them, broadcasting what they call it, the LeBron versation.
LeBron versation. Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
LeBron versation. So, yeah, I tuned in, man. I made sure I was live. I wanted to see what he had to say. I will say, y'all think I'm a hater. Hey, I
Okay.
love when they go on there talking their shit. I love when they go on there talking that talk. So yeah, shout out Brian, man. We call that letting the record reflect. Brian went on there and let the record reflect, but yeah,
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
but yeah, word to K.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's do this. I want to get into that interview. I also want to play some of Stephen A. Smith's responses to some of this stuff as well, because this whole thing is so crazy. I thought it was over after kind of they went back and forth a little bit. LeBron confronted him. Stephen A. talked about it the next day on ESPN, but then he been doing a run, going to some different places. LeBron said that he'd been on a Taylor Swift run, doing these interviews, talking about it, and he went to McAfee. Now, just to set up the McAfee thing, some people don't understand. And, Skip Bayless always used to say that LeBron is a very shrewd operator. And I promise y'all, LeBron, I don't know if he reads any of those books that he be, used to walk to the games, come up to the games with. But this motherfucker him and his team are really good at the art of war. Because the Pat McAfee thing was a very strategic move. I don't care what ESPN says, what Pat says, or what Stephen A. says. We know Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee got beef. We know everything ain't cool between the two of them. It's a power struggle there. So out of all the shows to do, and LeBron got his own stuff. He got the shop. He got the what's the one he got where he's coming back now with Steve Nash? The
Mind the game.
Mind the game. Yeah. So he has his own platforms he can go to if he just wants to get his shit off. You know what I'm saying? But he chose to go to McAfee for a reason, right?
A football podcast.
right. A very strategic reason, you know what I'm saying? And he can always hide under the cloak of, hey man, we were in town to play the Pacers. And they were. It was recorded on a Tuesday. It dropped on a Wednesday. That's the same day they playing the Pacers. And that's what McAfee records in Indianapolis. So we in town to play the Pacers. We just pulled up on Pat, man. You know what I mean? So very strategic.
Okay, so to even talk about just the origin of the whole thing, do you think that was something where Bron, okay, I'm a fan of Pat McAfee's show. If I choose to go to ESPN, I'm gonna choose the McAfee show because I like the McAfee show, or do you think it was more, I'm gonna choose your direct op?
I think it's the latter. You know what I think? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I don't even know how much he messed with Pat at all. Pause. But I think it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know?
Seemed a little forced. Just if I'm really like, you would have loved somebody to be able to go in there and really be able to talk basketball and dig basketball wise. Like I would love to see LeBron go sit down with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. I feel like, or KG and Paul Pierce with all the ticketing, with all the beef, like that would be dope. You know what I'm saying? And to get that unfiltered LeBron that we got with McAfee, because I don't know if we would have seen LeBron be that unfiltered with anybody else. Like, shout out to him because he flexed his muscle there. But I'm looking at it as, okay, for ESPN, you just gave Stephen A. the contract and made him the number one on the network.
Yeah.
He's the biggest basketball guy.
Yeah.
McAfee's been very public with them not being able to get basketball guys because they even say Stephen A. have been doing some sort of blackballing. I know Perk used to be on the show. Perk stopped coming on the show. McAfee even made a remark where he said, us joining ESPN, I would never thought we would have had problem getting basketball guys to want to come talk basketball on the show. So it was Stephen A was kind of making some people pick sides. So now, like you say, people call it shrewd, whatever you want to call it, flexing that power, flexing that muscle. LeBron goes and okay, ESPN, you might have made Stephen A the number one guy. Watch what happened when he get this interview, because this has been the most coveted, other than LeBron with the decision. We ain't really seen a full breakdown. Like I was even reading the comments, and they was like, he told it all 22 years later. You know, it was like it took 22 years for us to get some of these answers. You know what I'm saying? And really see him not be just Mr. Say and do the right thing, politically correct. He really just sat there like a real conversation, even more than some of his own show. So yeah, shout out him on that. But yeah, I think that was almost like a little screw you to ESPN too, because
that's exactly what I was about to say, Ross. Because Pat McAfee, even though he works for ESPN, he's kind of anti a lot of the ESPN stuff. He can kind of take it or leave it, because the reality is, like, his show that he was doing before he got over there was actually doing fine without ESPN, right? Like, he's kind of he had to kind of recalibrate his show for the ESPN audience a bit. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't, ESPN's audience wasn't used to it. So Pat McAfee is an outsider anyway. And Stephen A, the way he runs that thing up there at ESPN is kind of, people have said it about him, so F it, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's kind of like the Django character. He's, you know, we gotta go there a little bit. We gotta go there a little bit.
Is he Django or is he Samuel
L. Jackson's character? What's his name? Steven, I think that's the character. And look, I'm not saying from the perspective of, I'm not even calling him a coon, nothing like that. I'm saying from the perspective of, he's the one that goes out and gets to handpick who he wants to be on the show with him, right? You hear right now, Gilbert Arenas on Gil's Arena is calling him his new boss, right? Because Gil's trying to get that deal with ESPN. That's my new boss. Now, we know Stephen A ain't the quote-unquote boss, but he is the de facto boss. He's the one who kind of decides. So what Stephen A has created at ESPN, he's cocooned himself in this scenario in which he goes and grabs these athletes to be on this show. It's the biggest show, not because it's the greatest show. I'll get back to that later. It's not the best show. It's a reason why it's the biggest show. But he goes and grabs these athletes to get on this show. And then now they kind of feel, you know, like, damn, I'm kind of indebted to dude. You know what I'm saying? He grabbed me and co-signed me to get this gig. You know what I'm saying?
Because if you go and you watch the chemistry when Perkins was on the McAfee show, like I love the McAfee show. I tune in when it comes on off First Take after, and then I actually go to YouTube and continue watching after it is not on ESPN, because I'm a fan of the show. And I remember distinctly when Perk came on, like, their chemistry was so good. He was joking, and they kind of was, throwing some football references, and it was like Perk just stopped messing with him, and then they had a couple other guys, and then they would just stop, and so you could see Stephen A like literally making these guys pick sides. Like I strongly believe that. You know what I'm saying? That Stephen A was doing. So like you saying, him kind of handpicking these guys like Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas can't go and mess with McAfee. With the Stephen A put you in that position.
It also put you in a position where you can't really say anything really disparaging about Stephen A. You kind of careful with your word. You're like, damn, he put me, you know what I'm saying? Because what he's holding over people is you're doing me like that after I put you on. That's fuck. It's like, hold on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is coming with strings attached, then I probably shouldn't even take it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if I gotta agree with everything you say now, yeah, I'd rather not.
What Stephen A has done is put himself in the middle of First Take with a rotating cast of people that he picks. The people that he picks are all handpicked. That's why he got Max Kellerman was booted because of Stephen A. Smith. Plain and simple.
Yeah. And he's very vocal about it.
Yes. Like, it was what it was. He didn't want him on the show no more. Got him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? because he was challenging Stephen A. Smith on a lot of
As
stuff.
Max thought he was just as smart as Stephen A. He challenged him a couple times too much.
Yeah, and Stephen A. didn't want to be challenged in the way that Max was challenging him, right? I think, and you know, this probably don't sound good for me as a black man to say this, you know what I'm saying, in this scenario, but I think intellectually, and I know Stephen A. Smith talks tough, I think that he was, I don't want to say scared, but I think that maybe intimidated a bit by Max intellectually. And then also because Max is younger and was a hip hop is a real hip hop head, he would also not only hit him with the intellectual shit, but he would hit that motherfucker with the hip hop references that really Stephen A. is too old to really get a lot of them.
The same way we knew kind of when Skip crossed the line with Shannon, or when that went sour. I remember when Max said something like, if you don't see that, then you ain't black. You know what I'm saying? Max started really like, and it was a couple of topics where like the Kyrie Irving stuff, the George Floyd stuff, the Kaepernick stuff. There's a couple, it was a time where Stephen A. had to be corporate and be on the side of ESPN when really ESPN was wrong. And Max was kind of killing them at that time. You know what I'm saying?
And your man T.O. came on there. Remember your man T.O. came on there?
And he said, Max might be blacker than you. and Stephen A. did not like that. Yeah,
that was the end for Max at that point. Yeah. Okay, we get him about
it's over. Yeah.
You know? But I say all that to say Stephen A. also is a shrewd operator. So let's not get that twisted at all. So let's get into some clips here. I got my wrestling. I got one of my wrestling shirts. Y'all know I'm a professional wrestling fan. I got my old school Razor Ramon shirt on because this shit is all WWE for me right now. I feel like this is, for those of y'all who don't know, or those of you who do know, you know, I'm now comparing LeBron to John Cena. Even though he went to the Heat and people tried to seem like that was a heel turn, it was never fully in his heart to be a heel when he went to the Heat. You know what I'm saying? It was still LeBron. People tried to make him a villain a little bit, tried to embrace it, but I'm looking at LeBron now as John Cena. John Cena had wrestled in the WWE for over 20 years as a good guy. He announced this year, this is my last year wrestling. I'm going to go do the Hollywood thing, man. I can't do it no more. I'm getting too old. My body's broken down. And the people were like, you know what? This is going to be dope to have a John Cena farewell tour. And you know what he did, Ross? Motherfucker came out and turned heel. And he out here shitting on everybody. LeBron just turned heel on ESPN and Stephen A. Smith.
It prolongs the story.
Yes, it ain't over. Y'all thought it was. I've been cool for 22 years. I ain't said nothing. I ain't jumped crazy. Cause look, Windhurst caught a slug. I don't even know what Wendy fat ass did, but he caught a slug just in case he want to get out of pocket. You ain't my partner like that either, nigga. Just to let you know. Yeah. But what you want to go first? You want to go with some Bron clips first? Because the LeBron thing, really, let's go with LeBron first, because his was kind of short and sweet. What he said on McAfee in relation to Stephen A. Smith. So let's go there first. Here go LeBron on the Stephen A. Smith show. Fair use. Shout out to Pat McAfee and the guys over there, man. Let's go. And let's listen to Bron.
And Stephen A. Hey, legit. That feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're also. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
you're seeing it as well.
He literally. It started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
You would be not to talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you can address it, it's your ass. Like seriously, and like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players, and I think And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and sit in his chair and his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope.
That's hilarious. He in with the tighty whities on the couch, Bron.
He tried him like he just a straight mark. He thinks Stephen A just a straight mark. Don't do my dog Stephen A like that. Hey, not too much on my dog Stephen
Boy
A.
gonna have some tidy whities on excited. But okay, so back to Bron's point though, you know what I'm saying? And this all goes back obviously to the Bronny thing. And the irony of the whole Bronny thing now is that since those remarks from Stephen A, Bronny's had a career high in the NBA. He just put up almost a 40 ball. Well, this is the reality, Ross. I'm just gotta give it to you real. He since those Stephen A came out. Don't look at me like that. Stephen A came out and said, maybe I was wrong. That was Stephen A said, not me.
That was clickbait.
I'm just telling you what he said. Maybe he was wrong, right? All I'm telling you is that since Stephen A, because what got LeBron upset and what would have got me upset as well. Well, I was upset for LeBron was the whole like, stop this. Stop. LeBron, as a father, I'm pleading with you. Stop this. Stop what? He's playing basketball. It's a bunch of players in the NBA. If you don't think Bronny's good, that's fine. It's a bunch of players in the NBA that, by NBA standards, are not that good. And no one tells anybody to stop anything. No one is. I ain't heard Stephen A. Smith tell. I was gonna shoot a slug at Giannis, brother, but everybody always shoots slugs at him. Shout out to him. But nobody's ever told. It's been a lot of people's siblings, right? People don't even know that Ron Artest's Metta World Peace's brother was on a roster with him. People don't know that J.R. Smith's brother was on a roster with him. George Karl, a coach that nobody likes. How the hell did his son get in the league? You think that somebody really wanted to pick up Kobe Karl? No disrespect to him as a ball player. He wasn't good enough. But he got in the league because of that, right? But this whole, like, stop this, like, and I'm going to let you run on it, Ross, but he was a 55th pick, 57th, whatever he was.
55th.
Ross, be honest, Ross, before you go on to give your perspective on what LeBron said on McAfee. How much have we on our show or anybody on any other damn show talked about any rookie this year? Any rookie? Has anybody spoken about any rookie in this class for more than 2 minutes this season at all?
But that's because of LeBron and how Bronny was marketed. Bronny took all the attention. There are rookies that are playing well. We just don't talk about them. There's rookies that the kid from my hometown, Terrence Shannon Jr., like, he went on a run where they sent him to the G League and he averaged 40 for a week and then came and had 25 and 13 against the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are rookies. Rob Dillingham, every time he get in the game, he looks good. He ain't been getting much burn. Reed Shepherd, y'all rookie. He what he's averaging in the G League with Houston, like, he dropping 40 balls. You know, it's good basketball out there. Now, if the attention gets paid to it, that's another thing. But I mean, I will say Bronny is looking more comfortable, confident. He's shooting the ball well, which I questioned. I thought with him not being able to shoot the ball, it was no chance because he's 6'1" and he's little, you know. So you got to be able to be a shooter at least. So, you know, he's improving. You see the improvement. Now, I still agree that we should be able to speak about him and, like, don't give me you're not talking about no other rookies because we ain't seen no other rookies get a guaranteed contract before they play a game.
So you mad at me?
And only play in the home games with the G League and get the option to, like, we never seen a rookie with this much preferential treatment.
Well, come on,
so
Ross.
we obviously.
But Ross, who cares? My thing is, who cares? Why do we care that he got that contract? Why do we care? He's not even playing in the games like that for the Lakers. So why do we care?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we can't, like, this is what I'm saying. You can't compare him to the other guys who are on the we can cut you at any day and you don't got no money. Like, no, Bronny got signed for his 2 years. His 2 years guaranteed. So we gotta compare him to the other rookies that got guaranteed contracts. We can't compare him.
Okay.
Nobody else in the second round got they 2 years already.
I'm with you, Ross. So let's compare him to. So what you just said, I love what you just said. The problem is nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that because we don't talk. You just talked longer right now than ESPN has talked all year about any rookies this year.
And I agree. That's lazy reporting. And I agree with that. I think the media in general, not just basketball, football and basketball, and this is probably why a guy like LeBron has very little, if not no, respect for the new, like guys like Steve, because we got to be honest, Stephen A., you haven't even really watched the other rookies. Like, I can say that confidently,
right?
Because you hear it come out, and he try to like cover up, but like Stephen A. has not done his proper assessment of all the rookies.
You ain't watching the game, Lord.
Whereas like somebody like LeBron, I believe LeBron really being a student and LeBron really watching. So like, whether you agree with him or not, LeBron is a student of the game. He actually watches. LeBron would drop names of guys who somebody like Stephen A. should know and won't know. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Right. Agreed. Stephen A. is not hip the way he tried to say he is. He watched a couple of the marquee games. He's there on site. Other than that, he's reading articles. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. He got a stat guy to tell him the stuff he should know. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Well, I love it. So to that point, where we are in sports media now, and this is why somebody like LeBron, who's been around for so long, LeBron has been in the NBA so long, he's lived through the changes in the media, right? So he's lived and he knows that it used to be different. He knows that but I get it, man. Stephen A., ESPN, everybody, they're in it for the clicks. That's the only reason why Bronny is intriguing. Because you can mention Bronny and that ties to LeBron James. And I understand, to your point, that he's a second-round pick, but it's a lot that comes with it. So when you do draft your son in the second round and he comes to the team that you're on, I totally get it. It's preferential treatment. I think I'll understand that and recognize that, but that's also just a part of life, right? Like if I own a company, like let's say me and you got a company, right? Let's say I started the company, but like you've been working there with me for like 20 years now, right? You my right-hand man, but now one of my kids is of age and I'm going to hire him. And you're like, oh man, that's kind of crazy. Like they ain't even, I hear you. That's my kid. So I'm going to bring them in and I'm going to really teach them this business, right? Like they're interested. So they may not be qualified right now, but we always say it's not what you know, it's who you know. They know the damn owner. So I'm going to bring them in and we're going to, I'm going to teach them. So that's LeBron was able to leverage that. But here's where it gets out of pocket though, right? Because there's a substantive conversation that we can have about Bronny, how he got brought in the league, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but the conversation can be had. Here's where it gets out of bounds, and here's why LeBron is even more upset, and here's why Stephen A., I'm gonna go ahead and say it, is going out like a bitch in my book. I'm gonna say it like that. He's going out like a bitch because he's letting the internet and the people in the chat get to him. That's what he's doing. He's letting the internet and the chat get to him. And so when he made these comments right here, I said, okay, he's reading the comments, he's reading the chat, and now he's getting insecure because Stephen A. Smith, stop. Like this, no one said, like LeBron never alluded to this. He never mentioned this. But when Stephen A. went here, I knew that he was tripping.
That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately. That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately.
Stephen A., shut the fuck up. I'm confident in saying shut the fuck up. And I'm going to say that for two reasons, Ross. Number one, you wouldn't have swung on him because you probably would have been out. Number one, right? If he would have put his hands on you, right? And then number two, fuck you mean you would have, like, I bet you if you would have told Chris Rock if you'd have said, hey, Chris Rock, if you on stage doing a joke, like before this shit happened, if you just asked him that, just like hypothetically, hey, Chris Rock, hypothetically, if you doing the Oscars and Will Smith come up on stage and swing on you, what would you do? You'd be like, man, we gonna be fighting in that motherfucker. It sounds good when you just saying it. When the shit is happening, we saw Stephen A in real time, Ross. We saw him in real time. The motherfucker was standing there. I ain't gonna say he was looking shook, but he wasn't looking like he was ready to square up. I'm gonna put it out. And look,
then he came back and kept emphasizing who he was with, and I'm here after I signed my big contract, and I'm sitting next to this guy and
that's
this
what
guy.
He said initially.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
that was his cover story initially. Is that, hey man, I'm with Disney. You know, now all of a sudden, if he would have got swung on, fuck Disney, I'm gonna go ahead and throw hands. Stop this stuff, bro.
You would have called security, and you would have went and turned your microphone on and tried to get this man arrested and say how you was assaulted by LeBron James.
Ross, if LeBron James hits you or me, we are both thinking dollar signs. I am so excited. This nigga just hit me.
What, he hit me. I'm finna break every bone in my body. My neck, my back. I slipped and fell. I'm dizzy. I what? If LeBron James hit you, your best bet is to lay down and not get up. That's your best bet. Come on, let's keep it 100 now.
What happened was, since that shit happened, just like what happened with Chris Rock, since Chris Rock got slapped, people been going at him, what you should have did, da-da-da-da. So now he want to talk about he would have swung on him. Stop this stuff, Stephen A. Smith. You're 57, almost, you're getting ready to be 58 years old. Stop this, bro. And I'm gonna say this. I don't know how you feel about this, Ross. So I ain't gonna say this is a Rolex risky tangent. Don't associate Ross with nothing.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if he co-signing this or not. But I hate all you niggas that's in the mainstream media that pump that positivity shit. What Swaggy P call it, that brother knowledge shit. I hate all of y'all. Here's why I hate all of y'all. Because y'all pump that to ball players, you know, rappers, entertainers, people in general. When something happens that's big in the news, people come out, oh man, as a people, that's crazy. You know, we need to do better. And what do we see when all those people say that stuff? But when they get put in those positions, what did we see with Shannon Sharp? He wanted to fight the whole Memphis Grizzlies team. He wanted to fight T. Morant. What did we see with Ryan Clark? He's a good brother knowledge nigga. He was just online inviting Marcellus Wiley to pull up, right? Stephen A. Smith, he's so hey man, people want me to run for president, but all of a sudden you finna throw hands with a nigga at a game because he upset with you. So your default is I'm gonna swing on him, right? All these dudes talk so good. Charles Barkley, he likes to try to, hey man, I got a perspective, but all of a sudden I beat the hell out of you at the same time too, right? Everybody it's cool, bro, to say that stuff when like nothing's happening to you, to tell people what they should and shouldn't do. But yet we see all these dudes when they have the opportunity to show us in real time how to actually act. Stephen A., you're almost a 60-year-old man, and you've not only talked about political stuff, but in athletics, you talked about how black people act, how we behave, stereotypes, how we, play into these stereotypes. You had a chance to come out dead this, not make it a big thing. And now a month later, you're talking about you would have been fighting with LeBron James. And listen, I get it, man. I'm not saying I understand as a man, somebody put their hands on you, right? But LeBron never uttered a word, never intimated, it was nothing that he ever said. It wasn't like LeBron said, yeah, man, when I was standing in front of him, I damn near saw red. I had to hold myself back. Okay, now you're opened up yourself to that conversation, pause, to saying, hey, man, if he would have swung on me, he never said that. He's mad, and you can take off now, Ross. He's mad because like we used to say back in the day, Stephen A's mad because he had to see himself on film getting his whole card pulled. He got his whole card pulled. That's what happened. Your whole card got pulled on national television in front of the world. Your whole card got pulled in the middle of a game, not before a game, after in the middle of the goddamn game. Your whole card got pulled. And this is a Stephen A. Smith who, by the way, I implore everybody, do your research. I've been watching Stephen A. for damn near 30 years. He's consistently said, I am not hard to find. If you want to, hey, if you don't like what I'm saying about you, you can come see me. Well, LeBron came and saw you, and you went out like a bitch. You go, Ross.
Well said, my brother. Well said. Nah, yeah, man. It's not too much I can add on to that. Stephen A. definitely went outside because the thing is, like on some man stuff, as a man, LeBron stepped to him as a man, like Stephen A. always says. If you have a problem, yeah, I've heard him say that a bunch. If you have a problem, you can contact me. Now Stephen A. want to come and say, oh, you had my phone number, you had other ways. Hey, you don't decide how I contact you. It might be when I see you. It might be in the middle of the mall. It might be in church. It might be wherever. If something is heavy on somebody and they come to you as a man, and from what Stephen A. come out and say, LeBron, only thing he was consistent in saying is leave my son's name out your effing mouth. It's not like LeBron said, hey, meet me outside, or if I catch you, we gonna do this to you or whatever. So for Stephen A. to not be, if you're talking in words or what you do for a living, and you can't just keep it words, and now you the one to escalate them. See, like in content, that's like when you lose. And Stephen A. being the content guy, he should know that when you can't keep it a conversation or keep your comeback just with words, usually it's the guy who blows up and loses his cool. Ha ha. He lost his cool. He didn't understand. He's unprofessional. And that's what Stephen A. was trying to paint LeBron out to be. Oh, he lost his cool. He approached me in the middle of the game when I'm with such and such after I signed for my big contract. He let the content get to him and he lost his cool. Well, Stephen A. no, LeBron just out contented you. Okay,
Right.
Watch this. Watch these narratives. When I come do this in the middle of the game, see, LeBron knew that footage was going to come out too. But see, watch this. Watch how it looks. You know what I'm saying? So LeBron just pretty much played the content game. Now, I'm not going to do it on your terms. I'm not going to come to your show and talk to you. I'm not going to go on my show. No, I'm going to wait till you think you cozy courtside with your bosses, and I'm going to come and approach you, and now you got to go explain to ESPN and explain to all these guys why there's a problem between me and you to the point like that. And then with the McAfee thing, now you got to go explain to the ESPN bosses why we put this much money in the First Take and we just made you the highest paid and you're the biggest basketball guy we got, but our biggest basketball, our biggest interview, our biggest everything, anything attached to LeBron is going on the football platform.
And I'm
Matter of
glad
fact,
you
a
said
platform that we don't necessarily own, we're partners with.
I'm glad you said that, Ross.
That percentage they making off LeBron going to McAfee is different than what they would have made off LeBron going to First Take.
So that's why I said earlier that I want to come back to that point about First Take, why it's the number one show. I promise y'all, if you do your research, them being the number one show has nothing to do with Stephen A. Smith being good at his job. I promise you, it is all about the time slot. If you put Stephen A. Smith on at a different time, I promise you he would not move the needle. With that time slot, back in the day, way back in the day, it used to be Mike and Mike in the morning. It used to run from, I think, like 6 a.m. to about like 9, 10, I think. I think it was 3 hours, 4 hours in some market. And they were number one forever. It has nothing to do with how good somebody is in that time slot. When people are waking up and they want to get sports, ESPN is the place you turn on. If you're traveling, if you're out of town, your hotels always got ESPN. You turn it on. Most people I know in the morning, they don't even actually watch the show. They got it on for background noise, either just on their TV.
While you getting ready for work, while you driving in the car, you got it in the background. At every office building, dental building, it's on in the background. Yeah, it's even when I go get a barbershop, it's playing on in the background. Yes. We might jump in on every couple of topics if it's a good topic, but we're not really listening. And to be honest, I gotta be honest. Since Shannon has joined, and
Let's
Stephen
go.
A has been kind of like the show to me. I love Shannon. I love Stephen A. It's not as enjoyable for me to watch every day. Like I was a guy skipping Shannon. I was religiously going to skipping Shannon. Like first take, I tap in on certain topics. And to be honest, a lot of times, even on the topics I do care about, I'm tuned out by the time Stephen A get to talking. I listen to Shannon and whoever else is on. And then by the time Stephen A giving his 2 cents, it's all theatrics and it's all like a made up like argument. Like I know he gonna just say the opposite, or he might not even add nothing on to the conversation. He talk about what somebody got on. You know what I'm saying? Like he been doing a lot of fluff to me and not real reporting. So yeah, you got a good point.
If you're watching right now on People's Champ, if you go to our bio or description of the channel, I rewrote it recently because to your literally what you just said. I said, man, I need to make sure if people want to tap in or just look at, and I'm gonna read it verbatim. This is what our channel says: no fake debates, no forced narratives, just real talk about the games we love and the culture that moves us. From the hottest sports takes to deep dives into hip hop to deep dives into hip hop's influence. People's Champ Radio keeps it raw, unfiltered, and authentic. I think that says it best, right? It ain't no fake debates. It ain't no forced narratives we doing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what this thing has turned into. It's fake debates and it's forced narrative. You gonna say that? I'm gonna say this. Me and you, just to bring people behind the curtain, we never have a conversation about what we finna say. I'm never saying, hey, Ross, hey, on this game, you say that and I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? If we agree, we agree. You know what I'm saying? If we disagree, we just disagree. It is what it is.
We might say, yeah, we're gonna talk about the basketball, and you know generally who I like, and I know who you like. But as far as where the conversation is going, it's all organic. We shouldn't be able to close our eyes every time and know what Stephen A's argument is. You know what I'm saying? That it is redundant. It's not, like you say, it's not genuine. And that's why guys like McAfee and all these players, shout out Gil, shout out all the smoke, all these platforms, us, the new media, the less formal, the less written out and planned out and orchestrated shows. Like LeBron went on McAfee and it was just a conversation. And even though McAfee wasn't an X and O basketball guy, and they kind of do it funny, but there's a lot basketball wise where they just don't know, because you can tell they're just casuals. And even though I think LeBron valued to be able to go on there, not only as a spit in the face to Stephen A, but just to be up there and let me go have a real conversation that's not forced. And he still kind of answered all the questions that we wanted. McAfee didn't dig, or he didn't, it never got hot in the room where you like, oh, like LeBron ain't like that he asked this. It was just kind of like, okay, if you give us a short answer and nip it in the bud, we're going to keep moving. If you want to stay here, we can stay here. And I think Stephen A, ESPN, all these shows, that's what you got to learn from it. This is the new age. I love the fact that LeBron take it into his own. Like, you pick who you want to sit down with. You remember we was talking about Dion when he had the reporter take that power into you. Now you have to talk to somebody. It might be in your contracts.
Yeah, that was crazy, Paul.
It might be in your contracts to have to speak to somebody. And you know what I'm saying? I do agree that you should have to do some media, just because these guys are making too much, and with the sponsorship deals and all the money that's around them,
you should have to answer questions, some
we
tough
should
questions.
have to know a little bit of your personality and hear you answer some hard questions. But at the end of the day, these guys do have the power to, okay, I could really, Stephen A, think about it. LeBron is on that list. A lot of guys follow LeBron. Now, if these NBA stars say, hey, we're not talking to Stephen A, we're going to McAfee and these other shows, Stephen A. ESPN to come take some of that money.
But you know,
Believe
this is what this whole thing started over, though, Ross. This whole thing between Stephen A. and LeBron, and this is why I think LeBron, to your point, to your exact point, why LeBron went to a platform like McAfee is because McAfee is a casual, he's more of a football-centered podcast. He doesn't have any agenda one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? He's never come out on no GOAT debates, right? He don't have no agenda. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to ask any specific questions to get a rise out of you. It's no agenda. And, you know, Shams, when he got to ESPN, he had real beef with Woj because it's a battle for access. That's what old media, that's what all media is. It was always a battle for access. And like Kobe, for example, Kobe was a Rick Bucher guy. I don't know why, but Rick Bucher was Kobe's guy. So people knew that Rick Bucher was he had the insight into Kobe. I think it was Rick Bucher. I think it was Rick Bucher.
I think Bron likes my boy. What's my boy?
Pause that. Jesus. That's crazy.
What's my boy, the black dude, Chris Haynes?
Okay.
I think that's the last one Bron really messing with. But you don't really see him too much. Like,
but that's the thing, though. Like, I think Stephen A. was upset because he didn't have the access. So when guys in the media have the access, now those stories seem to be a bit different because now I can call Ross whenever I want to and get a quote. I can call him and get something off the record about what's going on. I can call him and get an interview if I need it for, whatever.
I gotta ask you, okay, if you Shannon Sharp and you've been now, Stephen A., I came and joined you on First Take, but before I was here, I've been fighting for the GOAT, for GOAT James and Shannon. I don't believe the GOAT, but it's Shannon Sharp words, GOAT James, and I've been rocking the jersey. I done came up with all the sayings, Chewbacca, Waka Flocka, Lakers in 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, he done came up with all the sayings and all the GOAT sayings and with the GOAT mask and wearing the LeBron jersey. He actually got the LeBron size. You remember he came in with LeBron size, the actual jersey. Like,
right.
You Shannon Sharp now. I've been doing a lot to be able to get some access. And I done joined the what they call it, the world leader in sports.
Yeah, worldwide leader.
We do have the #1 show, and now you are ruining it for me. So if you Shannon Sharp, does this kind of like, all right, Stephen A., like, I ain't trying to inherit your beefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, other people have these careers too, and like you referred to him as the Samuel Jackson and Django. Yeah, he's handpicking these guys, but at some point you almost hinder their growth. It's almost like to just be happy you part of ESPN. You should just be happy, rather than like these guys are trying to grow in and be you or bigger than you, and like them having to inherit your beefs. You know what I'm saying? After you already got your money, like, I'm trying to get that LeBron in. I'm trying to get that big time, media moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, for Shannon Sharp, that should have been his moment. And we can't really say Stephen A. didn't. We never really heard LeBron come out and embrace Shannon, but maybe, we saw Shannon about to fight the Grizzlies for LeBron James. You know what I'm saying?
Real
like,
shit.
and now you got Shannon on there with Stephen A. So I'm just interested to know, like, if you Shannon Sharp, how you feel?
I bet you it's a lot going on behind the scenes. I know it's a lot going on behind the scenes, because the way that Stephen A. and ESPN are running that whole First Take thing, they have this rotating cast of handpicked people by Stephen A. Smith. So you're handpicked by Stephen A. Smith.
So they pretty much gave him executive producer.
Yeah, he's handpicking who he wants to work with. So when you come on First Take, so that's why he has the football crew on there. And then once football season ends, he brings in his basketball crew. You know what I'm saying? Now, shout out to Shannon because he's able to be on both crews because he got the LeBron James shit that he's on, so he's able to do both. But Stephen A. typically is the one. He's always there. Shannon still ain't even there all 5 days a week. Shannon's
Nah, yeah. Shannon's like 3 days out the week or
You
something.
know what I'm saying? But like that's Stephen A's way of keeping control. That's what I'm saying. The fact that people don't realize what Stephen A is doing is unbelievable. That's his way of keeping control. Think about it. For as much as you love Shannon Ross, since he's joined ESPN, he hasn't been as good as he was on FS1.
Mm-mm.
He got too many constraints on him. He's too handcuffed. He can't come out there with the black and mild. He created the Shay Shay Unk character on FS1.
Yeah.
Do-rag, black and mild, coming out with the yak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He was even. I remember one time Shannon had backwoods and weed gummies. Snoop Dogg gave him a pack. He like, ooh, I'm about to be mile high. You know what I'm saying?
He was like, Skip, these old backwoods. I got these old backwoods, Skip. I got them backwoods.
Skip.
I got them old woods. I got these woods. You know what I mean? So he can't do that over there at Disney. So they basically put handcuffs on him. So he's really not even as entertaining over there. It's a watered down version that we're getting of Shannon over there. Here's what I want to go to before we get about here. I want to play this from Stephen A. because I think Stephen A. clearly doesn't get it, and I think this is digging him a bigger hole because why would he ever say something like this, Ross? Here we go.
I think Savannah is the first lady of the NBA. I think she's an absolutely wonderful human being that has always been nothing but kind to me. You think I like the thought of pissing her off? Gloria James, an absolutely wonderful person that I have seen over the years and has never been anything but the most pleasant person in the world to me. I don't like the thought of upsetting her.
Okay, let's stop it right there. Bro, why the fuck are you bringing up my mom and my wife about basketball?
Ooh. Yeah,
You bringing up my mama and my old lady about basketball, dude?
So what I see right now, Stephen A is like if you corner a cat and they just swinging, he's just fighting. Stephen A is just like cornered, and he's just trying to just say anything, because even though he didn't say anything critical or negative, and that's gonna be his defense. Like you saying, how do we, like, if I came up to you and I said, keep my son's name out your effing mouth, how do you then get to talking about my mom and my wife? Like that was you ain't get the whole concept, and that's what LeBron was saying. He just don't get it. Now you go Will Smith on him. Keep my family's name out your not next time he might get slapped. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I catch you at an award show and let me see you throw your swing now.
And I get it because people gonna say, well, Bronny is Savannah's son and Gloria's grandson. Okay, but if you're just doing your job, you're just doing your job, right? If you're just reporting on what you see, if you're just being fair, why would you?
Never heard nobody come out and address and say anything about Aisha Curry and Sonya Curry.
Yeah.
We don't even know what Kobe's mama's name was.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
We know Vanessa Bryant. We don't even know what his mom's name was. Only thing you hear people say is we love Kobe's family. You know what I'm saying? We know KD's mama. You won't hear nobody coming out talking about KD's mama when you critical of KD.
Because if you're a journalist, you're just doing journalism. It's not personal. You're supposed to just be doing so you don't have to work. So because to his point, he's like, she's been nothing but first of all, I don't give a fuck how my wife has been to you or hasn't been. If she's been nice or whatever, she can be an asshole to you. She don't play basketball, right? So I don't care. This whole notion of that lets me he actually told on himself because that gave me some insight into how he actually does his reporting. So that lets me know that if you have a relationship with some people, maybe it's softballs now. Maybe you don't go. And then he did some bullshit. He did some bullshit because Ross, on this show, people know I think LeBron James is the greatest basketball. I think LeBron James is the greatest overall basketball player of all time. But my personal favorite player of all time is Kobe Bean Bryant. May he forever rest in peace. But did you hear him trying to bring up the Kobe thing? He tried to bring up that LeBron didn't show up to Kobe's memorial. And then he had to he got fact checked live on air because people was blowing. It's like, no. People was like, nah, actually, bro, Kobe was there. I'm sorry, LeBron was there.
LeBron was there.
So he was like, hey, because Stephen A's whole thing he's a cornered cat. He just doing shit now. He came out and was like, hey, I never brought up the fact that you didn't show up to Kobe's memorial. I know a lot of stuff. I didn't bring up the fact that you didn't show up to D Wade's Hall of Fame thing. Well, both of those have two perfectly fine explanations. Number one, he was at Kobe's farewell, his whole thing that he had at the Staples Center. And D Wade's Hall of Fame thing, D Wade went into the Hall of Fame, I think it was like 4 or 5 days after Bronny had the cardiac arrest thing at USC.
Oh, that's messed up.
So Bronny had just had the cardiac arrest. LeBron was literally like taking him to like different doctors, getting him checked out. Like he was with his son who had just damn near lost his life. Like, yes, D Wade is my man. And any other time I would have been there. But I'm trying to like get my son checked out, make sure he's good. Facts. And you talking about like, hey, why wasn't you at D Wade's thing? I know stuff. You don't know shit, right? You just making shit up. You're making stuff up and you're bringing up narrative that shouldn't be brought up. Don't bring my mom up no more. Don't bring my wife up, right? We're talking basketball. This has nothing to do with anybody's family at all. I don't give a damn how somebody's family treats you or doesn't treat you. Who cares if Gloria or Savannah is nice to you? Who cares? They don't play the game. Like, who cares? And this is my last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna let you finish it out for us, Ross. We do a podcast about sports and about hip-hop culture because those are two things that we are passionate about, that we love, that's really a part of our community, of how we were brought up, right? Basketball and hip-hop. So we're, I think I can speak with both of us when I can say we're protective of those things. I hate people. Like I saw something with Rory and Maul where Maul was, and it could have been tongue in cheek. I don't tap in too much to Rory and Maul. No disrespect to them. I just don't tap in a lot. But I saw a clip where Maul was saying that he stopped talking to a girl because, he spent the night at the house. And when she woke up in the morning, the first thing she did was put on hip hop. And he was like, you putting on hip hop in the morning? And I was like, well, hold on, Maul, you do a fucking hip hop podcast, my nigga. Like, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, why he was like, hey, you putting on hip hop the first thing you do? Like, well, damn, you can't shit on that, right? So I'm very protective of those things, man, because those things are near and dear to me. Like every friend I have in life, this is no exaggeration, from the time I was, yay high, every friend I've ever met in life has come through sports, right? Down to my man Ross, right? Every friend I've ever met in life has come through sports, right? Like that's what I do. And people that don't know my background on this show, I did news talk, political radio for almost a decade. And so I understand that access is everything. I seen a lot of stuff that we did at our radio station to gain access to certain political figures, to certain, donors, because we want to get a quote. We want to have access to bring them on panels, to have them show up at events. So I understand the access game. But in sports media, something so trivial in the grand scheme of things as sports that should just be fun, we've done such a disservice, man. When we started giving guys nicknames, like when Skip Bayless started calling Chris Bosh Spice. It's a grown man. And you're calling him Bosh Spice. You're calling him you know what I mean? Like, this is a grown man that you're doing this to, and we're allowing this to happen on air, unchecked, and everybody's just going along with it. When we started doing stuff,
Westbrook.
You know what I'm saying? When Shaq was doing the stuff that he was doing with Bill McGee, right? Like, you're doing this stuff to other grown men.
Stephen A. with Kwame
Brown, right? Like, you're doing this stuff to grown men to denigrate them, to down them. And it has nothing to do with reporting on the game. It's just you trying to become a star. And that's why I think that we went awry, is where these sportscasters, I'm not hating on nobody for getting money. Stephen A got 5 years, $100 million, $20 million a year. But, at what cost is what I would say. Because I feel like ESPN is telling him to keep this contract, you know what you got to do, right? You know what comes with this. And so he knows what comes with it. And so, I don't like that aspect of it. We have fun on our show, Ross, right? We have fun on our show. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that we've ever went out of our way just to do a personal attack on somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We might say like, yo, that motherfucker didn't play good. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But we don't go, we don't, give somebody a
We
wow.
call my boy Angel Reese sometimes.
Oh, yeah. But that's just that's just to denote a specific skill set, because Angel Reese apparently has a skill set of missing layups.
And he agrees, though. The crazy part is he agrees.
Yeah, Angel Reese. We got to bring Bahamas on the show. Matter of fact, I got to hit him up next time I see him. We got to bring him on the show.
Get a damn translator for my boy.
Definitely got to have subtitles. But close us out, Ross. We'll close us out, though, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Bottom line, Stephen A., you out of pocket. You getting holed out in front of everybody. You gotta. This where you being the highest paid and being the vet that you are, and many years of being loved and hated and all over again. You got to find a way to get back in the good graces, because right now you're looking bad. You're looking bad, and this could really be bad because. Okay, we hear Draymond come out and say he don't rock with Stephen A. no more because of LeBron. How many other guys? It could be a Clutch Sports thing. We know LeBron's ties with Clutch. If Rich Paul say we not rocking with Stephen A. no more, it could be all those guys. So at the end of the day, I think with content creators and just really is content, and it's TV, all of it is all content. What people got to realize is, if you're not willing to say it when you face to face, don't push them at man. We all are men. Don't be pushing this guy to the edge, and then when he come and approach you face to face, and the only thing he did is stood on business. Hey, like my boy Drewski say, stand on business. Only thing he did was stand on business. And now Stephen A., like, you looking sad. Like, if you can't say it to their face, and if you can't stand on what you're saying, rethink what and how you're saying it. And that's the bottom line. Because I feel like I said before, like if LeBron went on Ticket and the Truth, yeah, you'll see Paul Pierce have a different tune. But Paul Pierce would have had a conversation about whatever beef there was. And Paul Pierce would have explained, okay, I felt like this, and this. And Brian I felt like this, and this. And we had to beat y'all motherfuckers. And you know what I'm saying? And it was just, you would have seen it. And even though there might have been, tension previously, like as men, you can address that and move forward. And like, I think with Stephen A., like he's lacking as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like he's lacking that part. Like you forget all the theatrics and the first take and all that. As a man, the man came to you as a man and as a father, and like you as a man, you got to handle that. And just because your image in the media might be a little tainted right now, like it moves fast. So Stephen A., by next week, you know what I'm saying, Stephen A. could be back in the good graces. But right now, you got to find a way to stop the bleeding, brother.
But he don't want to stop it, though, Ross. You know that, man. This is good for business. Saying LeBron's name, think about it. There is no bigger star in sports than LeBron James. I guess we can all agree with that, correct? Like currently playing, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
There is no bigger name than LeBron James. Shit, even if you take current and former players that are actually alive right now and living, the big three is LeBron, Jordan, and Brady, correct? Mm-hmm. Am I missing somebody? That's the big three, right?
See, like I'm even looking right now, like the last clip Stephen A posted, LeBron, the lies keep coming. 616,000 views. So Stephen A, you know, it's working good for the Stephen A. Smith show. So you know,
It's good for
and
business.
and that's where media has gone.
Yeah,
That's
that's what it's about, man. We got a viral virus in our country.
Hey, so let us get some, y'all. Tap in, like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and tell a friend and tell a friend.
You did?
You know what I'm saying? Tap in with Ross and Risky. Cause we trying to get some, but we gonna do it the honest way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We ain't gonna do no bullshit.
And Brian, if you see me, I'm gonna tell you ain't the GOAT to your face, brother. You feel me? I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you to your face, brother.
That's when you talk to me, Bron, and I have to explain to you that I apologize for what Ross is saying because he know not what he says.
And I'm not gonna come up here and floss like Stephen A. Brian, you touch me. Hey, Brian, you touch me. I done broke every bone in my body. I'm gonna have a medical bill like a Walgreens receipt. You feel me?
That CVS boy, you got that CVS loan boy. Yeah, pause. You got that loan CVS. Well, we gonna let you know. I need all this work done. Yeah, nigga, I'm hurt.
But shout out Brian, man. I'm not the biggest Brian fan myself. You gotta respect him as a man. Like I've been saying all night, you gotta respect him. Whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether you think Bronny's a bust or not. Like, salute to him, because the biggest thing I got from the McAfee interview is just, and it is amazing, and to hear his perspective, like, 22 years unblemished, no scandal, chosen as like a 17-year-old in high school. You know what I'm saying? Single mom. We know the history of his mom. Like, he's had every reason to mess up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And to just see him come out and talk his shit and be a little brash and still doing the right thing and still being the family man that he is, and then turn around and hit a game winner. Like, you gotta respect it.
You didn't even get a chance to get to the game winner. That's
nothing but
great.
respect to LeBron. Nothing but respect.
Let's play this, man. Let's make sure that everybody understands where this whole thing started off from before we get up out of here, man. Because we know this is where this whole thing started, right? Is right here, this very moment when he pulled up on him. That's where it started, right there. That's where it started. You was right there, Stephen A. You dig? You didn't really want that action. And shout out to Bron. And shout out to Bron, because Bron brought one of the Morris twins over there with him. Them niggas is crash outs, low key.
Crash out for sure.
You know the Morris twins are crash out. You dig? He brought Morris twin over there with him to crash out. So that's where this whole thing started at, man. Was right there in that moment. And you know, Stephen A, he's letting the internet get to him in that moment because they not letting him live with that moment. And so, you know, he's not, at least to this point, he hasn't been strong enough to kind of say, you know what, I'm over that, we moving on, and we passed it. But that's our time for tonight, man. We'll be back with y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with us. Like Ross said, man, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. We definitely appreciate y'all, man, for rocking with us right here on People's Champ Radio. Ross and Risky, man, we tap in with y'all all the time, giving y'all this real spill. You feel me? We up out of here, man. We'll holler.